and he's fully present when you're speaking with him. Former NYPD narcotics detective, highly decorated, rose to national sales director in one of the other companies, was put in, had massive momentum, had massive momentum. This is about team building here. So he put 64,000 people on day one of opening up a company. That's team building. I think he knows a little bit about team building. So I have the honor and privilege of bringing up Mr. Ed Ayala.
Ignacio, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Give Ignacio a big hand. Can you hear me okay, Ignacio?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let me get ready here. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our team building. If you hear my voice a little different, it is what it is, right? Sometimes you catch a cold or fever. So, but like I told my wife, right? She said, "Oh my God, you're going to continue working today? You're horrible. You got a fever." I'm like, if the bank opened up the vault and said, go grab all the cash out of there, and you just had a fever, would you stay in bed with your fever, or would you go run and get the money? You know what she said to me, Ignacio? You always come up with one of yours. You always got a one-liner. I'm like, because it's true. Right. It's absolutely true. I mean, unless you're dead or you're in a hospital bed and they got you strapped down, right? You got to go after your dreams, folks. We're talking about your life. That's all. We're just talking about your life. Some of you are like, man, this guy opens up so dramatic. It really is. My mentor said to me, it is about your life. Because if you think about it, right, 90+% of every decision every human makes somehow is related to money. Isn't that amazing? Okay, where you live, where your kids go to school, the car you drive, the vacations you go on or you don't go on, the stress that a lot of people have, divorces. I could go on and on and on. When somebody says to me, man, oh my God, Chris, I got problems. I'm like, you got problems? Okay, let me ask you a question. First of all, you're talking, so you're not dead. Let's identify your problems. When they list 5 or 10 problems, you can check them all off with making money. I don't make up the rules, folks, but it's been that way since the beginning of human civilization, right? It is what it is. We got to play by the rules, okay? When you don't have capital, when you don't have money, right? You are subject to someone else dictating your destiny. That's the problem, okay? And I didn't know that, okay? I'm going to tell a little bit about my story. I'm going to really help a lot of you here today. Let me just put a timer on here because I got a hard stop at the top of the hour. But I really want to help everybody here today because, one moment. Okay. Because I can guarantee you one thing. I know Jabari knows this. Julio knows this. Chris definitely knows this. All right, we all know this. You ready? We already know what to do. We already know what to do. You can show up to all the trainings by Mr. Pacheco, by Sam Bean, by JC. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't show up, but I'm just telling you. We already know what to do. That's the crazy thing. Wait a minute, Ed, what do you mean I know what to do? Yeah, you got to talk to people, present our business. Hold on, it says speaking language. Okay, speaking English. All right. You have to, right, present to people the business, then follow up with them, onboard them, right? You know, get them started, put a list together, then talk to their prospects, right? Introduce, answer their questions, overcome their objections. We know what needs to be done. And you know what's even crazier? Even if you didn't know what to do, which I'm going to cover here, if your why, if your reasons, right, for winning, being successful, making money, whatever your why is, your children, right, if that's strong enough, big enough, you figure out a way to get it done, okay? Because that's exactly what I did, okay? So let me share with you real quick, because this is not about me today, okay? And I've never done a training this way, but so let me just do something a little bit different, okay? I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? If this was you, think about getting involved in a direct sales, network marketing business, whatever, just getting in business, right? Where you have to learn how to recruit other people, learn how to build a team, learn how to be a leader, okay? And this is who you are, okay? Let me just bring this up. Is my screen up there? Yep, right?
Yes.
Yep, you're
Yes.
good.
Okay, great. So think about this for a second, okay? That was my former life 30 years ago in the 1990s, okay? When it was the big, huge crack epidemic, okay? Anybody that knows about New York, that was flooded. We had the highest murder rates. It was just insanity. And I decided to go into the narcotics space. I was an undercover detective, and I actually loved my job. I really loved my job. I felt like I was doing something that God put me on this earth to do, to serve others, protect others, right? Um, clean up neighborhoods, okay? Honestly, I didn't really care. I'm just telling you, I'm talking, you guys know me, right? I talk pretty direct and transparent. I didn't really care that people did their drugs. I could care less. You want to smoke weed, you want to snort cocaine, you want to do whatever you want to do. That's your body. Do whatever you want. But what got me passionate was protecting grandma or the little kids going to school, they could get shot, right? That to me was my purpose, right? I need to protect these people because these people that are involved in, the drug business, right? They don't care. They're going to shoot somebody because it's competition, right? That's the part I didn't like. So my purpose was, I'm going to clean up that neighborhood because why? I have a purpose to serve these people. And that's what I did for 10 years of my life, right? So I just told you 10 years of my life. Now let me ask you a question. Imagine recruiting this person, okay? I'm at Ayala 30 years ago. You're recruiting me, okay? Number one, I'm skeptical, okay? That's number one, skeptical. No, not even skeptical. Super mega skeptical. As a matter of fact, unless there's another police officer here, and not just any cop, okay, but someone that was doing about 20 radio calls, 911, that's what they call radio calls. But we did about 20 a day in the South Bronx, Brooklyn, Upper Manhattan. We do about 20 a day. Think about that, in an 8-hour day. You're running from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other, no breaks, okay? In the time that I worked in New York, okay, New York is not pretty safe. It wasn't like a country club like it is today. Now the cops that have been retired, they're like, man, New York is like a country club. Literally, when we worked there, it was a war zone, right? And here's what's amazing, why I was so skeptical. Because anybody I ever stopped that had drugs on them, they never told me it was theirs. Never. Not one time. Whenever we found a gun in somebody's car, they never said it was mine. Whenever somebody got caught speeding, I didn't really stop speeders, but sometimes you had to. They never said they were speeding. You guys get my point? Everybody lies to a cop. Why? They don't want to go to jail. They don't want to get a summons. So just imagine, for 10 years of your life, everyone lies to you. Everyone's up to something, right? They're involved in something. They're always going to get out of a scam. So I was super skeptical. Imagine recruiting somebody who's mega, mega, ultra skeptical into business. Number two, I was negative. Now I'm the most positive person I know on planet Earth. Matter of fact, I always say this, okay, Julio knows this. I don't know anybody more positive than me. I don't. There might be somebody as positive, but it can't be more positive because I'm positive all the time. Ed, come on, Ed. You're talking smack now. What do you mean you're positive all the time? Nobody's positive all the time. I'm positive all the time. You know why? Because there's always a solution to every problem. There is. Well, 99% of the time, right? There's a solution to every problem. What did I start out with? Most of the time, it's money related, right? So guess what I know? It ain't a problem. It's a financial situation I need to resolve. I need to go make money. Whoa, I'm in Byld. I can make unlimited income. Isn't that great? Let's give a hand to Byld unlimited income. You're not limited to the money you can make. Okay, so I don't get stressed out because there's always a solution to the problem. Now this is magic right here. Ready for this? You ready for this, Chris? There's always a solution to every problem. However, if that 1% there isn't a solution, then guess what? I still don't get stressed out because there's no solution. Did you guys get that? Right? Did you get it? Right? There's always a solution to every problem. That's why I don't get stressed out. And if there is no solution, God forbid, right? You're on your deathbed and hey, you got a couple days to live. All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna get stressed out. There's no solution. So guess what? I was the most negative person and I became the most positive. Now, you might say, well, why were you so negative as a cop? Let me help you with that one. Number one, every single 911 call. Let that sink in your brain for a second. When someone has to go to their phone and hit those three numbers, 911, throw some fire in the chat if we could all agree that when you have to get to the point of 911, it is an emergency. Yes or no, right? It's an emergency. So just imagine at your job, everything you go to is an emergency. That means there's people either shot, hurt in an accident, a child is missing, somebody screaming, oh my God, right? It's always negative. In my 10 years, I never got a 911 call where it was a birthday party and they wanted to give me a gift. Hey, Officer Ayala, here you go, man. Happy birthday, whatever it is. No, it was always mayhem, negativity, shooting, dying, bleeding, right? It's like all day long, every single day. So I was the most negative person you could meet. I'm doing this for a reason because some of you think sometimes that people like Chris, Jabari, right? All the great leaders that we have, the Pacheco's, JC, our great CEO, right? Julio Aquino, I could go down the line, Don Smith, Don LaPlume, Scott Mazzaros, all these great leaders. You think we're born that way. Some of you think they're special. Some of you think we're different than you. We're not different. We made some little different decisions to grab onto something and just take massive action until something starts working. And then your belief goes up, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. So I was mega negative, super skeptical. Okay, let me look at my notes. What else? Because I got to remember, it's 30 years ago. Oh, people skills. Horrible people skills. Ed, come on, I've met you, Ed. We've hung out. You got great people skills. I worked on it. I worked on my people skills for years. Now, again, you might doubt me. What do you mean? Why did you have bad people skills as a cop? Because I worked in very, very, very tough, difficult areas, and you cannot be talking nicely to people. Okay. Well, don't get me wrong. I started that way, but usually it was like they would spit at you or curse at you, right? Or threaten you, and right away I got to turn into animal mode. Animal, right? Because it was like a jungle, right? And you cannot let someone take over. So you're always in a state of being the authority figure. You're ordering people around. Guess what I found out in sales, Jabari? You can't order people around. You can't force them to buy the solar panels. You can't you can't make people join your business. I came from a world of, I got to make you get into those handcuffs. Oh, you're going into the handcuffs. There's no doubt now. Your wife has a broken jaw, okay? And she wants you arrested. Just an example. That was a lot, right? A lot of times that happened. Black eye or something. Buddy, sorry. Get up. Turn around. Let's do it the nice way. I would only say one time, just one time. Hey, brother, stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your back. Sometimes they do this, they go no. Sometimes they don't even talk. They sit there. Guess what? Oh, well, now my thermometer goes up, right? And I'm like, oh boy, we got to get busy now. Now we got to get into a scuffle, okay? Excuse me for saying this, but sometimes you got to beat his ass because I'm not going to get hurt, right? You're the one that has to go to jail. So the deal is this. I didn't know how to deal with people the right way. I was used to ordering people what to do. I get into the world of network marketing and you got to talk nicely to people. I couldn't transition. I wish I had some of my old folks, buddies from Primerica. They would tell you when people didn't show up to the hotel, we do hotel meetings, right? Ignacio, I would curse at them. Like the following week, where were you last week? Oh, no, I didn't make it because, me and my girl, what do you mean? You and your girl? You said you're going to be here every week, dude. What the F is wrong with you? I'm here. I'm paying the bill at the hotel. You got to that's how I used to talk to my teammates. Can you believe that? No wonder they used to all quit in the beginning. They would all quit. Everybody would quit. They couldn't be around me, right? Bad people skills, mega skeptical, super negative. What else I got on my list? Oh, no empathy. I had no empathy for people. Zero. Ed, man, I'm going through some tough times. I don't give a shit. What do you mean you're going through some tough times? So what? That was my attitude. I used to tell that to people. I don't really care. You know why I had no empathy? I figured out later, right? I'm not a psychologist, but I figure out, well, I had no empathy because I learned that every time I saw a dead child or somebody shot or somebody hurt, right, I learned to uh, uh, remove my feelings from the situation. So I couldn't feel for other people. Isn't that crazy? I had no empathy. And the last one here is, yeah, well, I covered that. I was not a leader at all, not a leader. I was an authoritarian, okay? The $50 word there. Again, so think about that. Imagine starting your network marketing career like that, and you've been programmed for years, okay? And by the way, before I got to NYPD, right? I grew up in, you guys know, Harlem housing projects, extremely poor. Everybody around me, right, was uh, in poverty, stressed out, right? It was horrible. But here's what made the change. And I mean this with everything in me. I wanted to win so bad. Something inside of me, like you, I wanted to win so bad. And a guy named Bob Safford, God rest his soul, he was one of my mentors, right? And this guy was major, major. I mean, his net worth in Primerica was over $200 million. Okay. One day I'll show you, but he actually had a house that George Washington slept in it. No exaggeration. Okay. He bought a house. It wasn't George Washington's house. The guy slept there. It was in Valley Forge during the battle, during the time of independence, right? Or Revolutionary Wars. And George Washington, this guy was mega wealthy. So I met him and I said, and this is a lesson for some of you. I asked him, Bob, listen, I really want to win. I'm a New York City detective. I'm doing this part-time. I want to go full-time. But I don't know what to do. I need somebody to mentor me because the lady that recruited me, okay, great lady. I'm not going to say her last name. Her first name is Marianne. Marianne, okay. She wasn't making no money. And then the guy that recruited her, he wasn't making no money. Like everybody in my upline was not doing well in Primerica because that's a whole nother day for another story. Primerica is a difficult ass business. It is. Because you got to take a test. You pass your life insurance test. You got to go to school. You got to go there for 40 hours. You got to take a test. And only 18% pass. Let that marinate in your brain. Out of every 100 people that pay their money, I still think it's the same, probably about $200, but the same as now. They pay their money to go to school. Only 18 out of 100 pass the test. That means the other, okay, what's that, 82, right? They're gone. Because why? They paid their money and they can't make no money because you can't make no money in insurance or investments or mortgages if you don't have a state license. You can't get paid, right? Here, we don't have that case. Here, you join day one. Day one, you can make money. You can go sell a Zeta box. You can sign up some folks. You make money next week, next Friday. So nobody in my upline was making money, but the big guy, top guy, right? I was intimidated. Think about it, right? I'm a cop. I execute search warrants. There's people with guns there every single time. People go, were there really? Are you exaggerating? Were there always guns in every drug bust? Yeah, I don't remember when there was. I don't remember because wherever they have to protect their product, right? They have competition that try to take them out. So they always have guns, yes. And I was nervous to talk to this guy because I was like, wow, he's rich. He's freaking wealthy. But you know what? I drew up the courage. And one day I went up to him at an event and I said, Mr. Safford, I know you don't know me. Okay. He had like 30,000 licensed reps in his organization. But man, I really want to win real bad. And I think he saw it in me. Like he said, wow, this guy really wants to win bad. And here's what he said to me. He goes, look, before I'll help you and mentor you, pay attention to this. He says, I want you to read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You heard of it? I go, no, sir. He said, okay, well, you read that book. The next event is going to be, it was about 3.5 months later. They used to do a big event every 3 months. Live event, right? No Zoom back then. No internet back then. Anyway, so he said, you read that book, purchase the book, and read it once a month for 3 months. I know that you have read it by our conversations. We're going to talk. I'm going to know that you read it. So I was like, oh my God, I got to read this book. Then he said to me, do you like to read? Are you a reader? I didn't want to lie to the guy. right? I was like, man, I don't want to lie to the guy, but no, sir, no, Mr. Safford, I don't like to read. He goes, okay, that's fine. Here's what you do. Can you read just 5 pages? I could do that. Okay. Then I want you to read 5 pages when you wake up, and I want you to read 5 pages before you go to bed. That's 10 pages. You do that for 30 days. You read the book one time for the month. I go, damn, right? So he broke it down, right? Little pieces, right? Reduction to the ridiculous. I said, I could do that. He goes, well, you do that, and I'll see you at the next event. Let me tell you what happened when I read that book. And it took about the third time to read it. The guy knew. I started to understand the principles and laws of success. I started to understand that it was my programming, where I grew up, my job that I had, it programmed me for failure. I was being programmed for failure. When I read that book, it changed my world. And some of you that maybe have never read the book, and if you read it, you should read it again. I still think that's the greatest book ever on success. Let me tell you why. Because if you don't know this, it was a 20+ year study of the wealthiest, okay, people of that time. John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, right? Andrew Carnegie, I could go on, okay? These today, they would be like the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos, right? And guess what? Guess what Andrew Carnegie said? Because I want you, for the next 20 years, I'm going to introduce you to the wealthiest people in America. These are people that built America, by the way, okay? If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have had the money for the wars, World War II, right? We wouldn't, okay? Because you need money to be in war, unfortunately. But it is what it is. They financed because of the money they brought in to the United States. So he said all their principles, like this is what some of you don't understand. I know you don't understand this because I didn't understand it. And Bob Safford said to me, he goes, when you read that book, I want you to act like Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford is talking to you. They're talking to you through their pages. They've been dead a long time ago, right? 100 years ago, they've been dead. But they built the biggest fortunes ever. I want you to act like they're talking to you. And that's how I read the book. I recommend you do that. Whatever book you read, act like the author, whether they're alive or not, they're talking to me. Okay? And folks, let me tell you something. That taught me how to set goals in the book. It taught me how to build my desire. It taught me how to build persistence. That was the beginning. Okay? Not the end, not the middle. By far, I had a lot of work to do, right? But it taught me the start, the platform. I recommend you do that. Seriously, okay? So let me get to a couple things here real quick. So from being a detective, right? And here is I really was a detective. People go, for real, is this dude BSing? Yeah, okay. And I was decorated because I was very motivated. I always been motivated. Anything I do, I'm always motivated, right? And these are like, this is you guys, I've never done this before, right? And I've never done it before because sometimes it feels like, I don't want to be braggadocious, right? But sometimes people don't believe, okay? And what do they say? We got the receipts. I got the receipts for everything. National sales director, we did billions in sales. Okay, not in a year. I wish, right? But we did billions in sales in our career between investments, insurance, mortgages. You added up, it was several billion we did in our organization, right? Then I sold that. Then I started a startup. That startup, we put 64,400 something people. It was a pre-launch. And then when we launched, okay, it was in the first 7 days actually, we did 2.4 million in sales. Think about that, okay? In our pre-launch, right? We did that. So I look back at my life 30 years and I go, man, the way I used to think, the way I used to act, the way I used to believe, I'm a completely different human being. People from back then don't even know who I am because why? I decided to make the changes. And it's not about me, it's about you. You can make the changes because you're not as skeptical as I was. You're not as negative as I was. Okay, I was also broke. I was like $18,000 in credit card debt. That's a lot in the 90s, right? Just on credit card debt, right? You weren't, you were, I don't think, okay? And if you are, then let's hear your story, okay? But the point is this. It all boils down to one thing. Let me just go to a different little screen here. It boils down to right here. Is this helping anybody? I hope so. I took some medication to make sure
Yes.
I'm here for you guys. I want to see everybody win. We got such a great company, man. We got such great leadership. That's to me is like the most important thing. We got really, 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 really great people here, and you could be here long term. You know, before I got involved, I knew JC. JC's amazing, right? Great human being, great Christian dad, a great leader, JC. But I didn't know Wences. And before I told Julio, before we put all our time into this and really focus on building, we need to meet this guy called Wences Navarro. After I met Wences, right, it was over. I said, that's it. These guys are leading the company. I am in, all in. Because guess what? You could have the greatest products. I'm sorry, I'm just finding my proper. You could have the greatest products in the world, but if you got some crappy leaders, sooner or later it's going to fall like a house of cards. Just sooner or later, okay? They're going to do something stupid. They're going to do something ego-based. They're going to do something because they're greedy. Not our leadership. That's why I'm in it. I'm full in this, okay? So, all right, let me share this with you, okay? As far as everybody's human psychology, it works the same way for everyone. This is like human psychology 101. And I got this from Mr. Anthony Robbins, okay? Mr. Anthony Robbins, you don't know, look him up. The most prolific personal development trainer of all time, okay? He's the greatest ever, right? And I remember paying over $2,000 to go to his event. And that was another thing, okay? Like all the money I made, everybody, I reinvested in who? Me. I reinvested in myself, okay? While I was part-time, I still, making my money as a cop. I had to pay the bills. But everything I was making, my little life insurance sales and doing stuff, I was reinvesting and buying books, going to seminars, because I knew I had to learn what those guys know. What do those guys and girls know on stage that are making a lot of, what do they know that I don't know? It's knowledge. And then you put it into action, right? So here's how it works. Belief, action, results. Pay very close attention because believe it or not, I paid over $2,000 for that seminar with Anthony Robbins. And the most important thing I got out of it, I got a lot, but this was the most important thing I got out of it, is right here, okay? Everybody has a certain level of belief, right? What is belief? Can I do it? Can I not do it? Can I do it? Can I not do it? So what you need to do is master all the skills, okay? And even if you don't, this is actually take action, okay? Take action. What is action in build? Two types of action. I can tell you right now. It's so simple, it's ridiculous. Setting appointments and doing appointments. Write that down. That's really what you got to do in build. Okay? That's the most important action. Setting up appointments, doing appointments. And what kind of appointments? Recruiting appointments, selling appointments, right? Follow-up appointments, an appointment. You're meeting with someone else. Setting and doing. That's it. I boil it down to the simplicity, right? So you got to take action. Here's what's pretty cool. When you take action, you get a result. Okay? And if you're taking a lot of action, if you're taking a lot of action, you're going to get a lot of results. Can we all agree with that? You're going to get a lot of results. Sometimes it's a not so good result. What is that? It's not a failure. You guys know it, right? It's just a learning experience, right? Write that down. I never see failure as failure, only as a learning experience. That's all. So you're going to get a result, whether it's good or bad, okay? And again, it's not bad. It's just a learning experience. And then here's what starts to happen. You're going to get some positive results. When you take massive action, okay? It's almost humanly impossible if you went up to 100 people. I don't care in the street, in the mall. I used to do this, by the way. I used to, right? There was no internet. I used to walk around the malls and talk to people. You can say this to 100 people. And you guys know I said this, last year at our convention, our event, launch event. If you went up to 100 people and said this, okay? You don't want to make $100,000 a year from home, do you? That's it. That's all you say. You don't want to make $100,000 a year from home, do you? You said that to 100 people. You know what's going to happen? A large percentage are going to say, no, not interested. Get away from me. I don't know you. But guess what? A percentage, probably about 10, 20% are going to go, wait. Could you repeat what you just said? I said, you don't want to make $100,000 a year from home, do you? Yes. What do you mean? Of course, I'm in debt. I'm struggling. What do you got? Absolutely. You're going to get a percentage that say that. Why? Because it's a numbers game, right? We're going to talk about that. So if you take massive action, you're going to get results. And here's what's pretty cool. Results increase your belief. What type of results? You get recognition, you earn money. That's just two examples, right? Here at Build, you hit Builder 500, Builder whatever, we recognize you, right? But you also get paid every Friday. All of a sudden, when you get paid, it raises your belief. Those of you that, okay, help me out. Those of you that have already gotten paid in Build, you already got paid. Any paycheck, okay, $50, $5,000, whatever. Throw a 1 in the chat that when you first got paid, the first time from Build, your belief went up a little bit. It went up like, oh, wait a minute, these people actually paid me. I recruited somebody, or I closed a sale. I was a mentor. So I got paid. Can we all agree to increase your belief? Yes, it does. So what happens? The more results you get, the higher your belief goes. The higher your belief goes, the more action you take. That's what it's all about. My mentor said this to me. My other mentor, Joe Enser, he said, Ed, becoming a multimillionaire, that's the easiest thing you're ever going to do. And I'm like, what? This guy's crazy? He goes, but believing you're going to be a multimillionaire, that's the tough part. You just don't believe yet. I'm like, Joe, I believe. He goes, no, you're not taking enough action. He goes, because when you really believe, like I know it's going to happen, you can't sleep. You take so much action, right? They can't stop you. Belief is the key. Read the book, Think and Grow Rich. All right. A few of my sayings here. Everything is easy once you know how. Can we all agree? Riding a bike, driving your car, cooking a meal, playing golf, right? Making love. How many would agree everything is easy once you know how? Can we all agree? Once you know how to do it, it's easy, okay? And go to the bottom one here. This is one of my favorites, okay? If you have enough want to, you will always, not sometimes, you will always, you're going to figure out the how to. You're going to go to somebody, you're going to watch on YouTube, you're going to figure out the way to get it done. You know what that's called? That's just human evolution, right? We had to discover fire. We had to discover, everything had to be discovered by humans because there was a necessity, okay? Like Elon Musk now, right? He's like, hey, we might get hit by an asteroid, so we have a necessity. We may have to get our next civilizations on planet Mars, right? There's a necessity, okay? So you figure out a way to do it. You have it in you. It's in your DNA. You just have to activate it, okay? This is great too. You can only control two things. Some of you want to control the people on your team. Wow, I recruited this girl. She don't do crap. You can't force her. You can't force nobody to do nothing. You can only control two things. Your attitude, right? Meaning your positive mental attitude. You're the only one that can control that. Don't let anybody else don't let anybody else control that, obviously, right? And your activity. You can control your activity. Every single day you decide when you wake up, you're the CEO of your empire, and you decide the activity you're going to put in. And let me give you a little help here. When you take action, activity, take massive action. If all you get out of here today, right, is raise your belief level, read it, Think and Grow Rich, right? I hope you say, man, if that guy Ed could do it, super negative, super skeptical, ridiculously bad people skills, right? Didn't know how to speak on stage, right? I just, if that guy could do it, I could do it. And you can. Then this is another one I want you to take away from today is whatever you're doing now, 10x it. Just 10x it. If you're talking to one person a day, talk to 10. Ed, who do I talk to? Stop it. Stop it. What do you mean, who do you talk to? Nowadays, you have what I didn't have back then. Like you got LinkedIn. Write that down. LinkedIn is a gold mine. It's a gold mine. Like if I started all over again, okay, I would be recruiting people on LinkedIn. I would, of course, every time I go out, it's called casual prospecting. You casually prospect people. I gave you one liner. Here's another one if you want it, okay? This is a good one. You ready? You ready? It's a good one. It works like 90% of the time. 90% of the time, I always got a yes. Are you locked into your current job for the rest of your life? Do you keep your options open? Are you locked into this current job or do you keep your options open? And 9 out of 10 times, if you're at Walmart, Home Depot, wherever you shop, at the supermarket, you ask that person, are you locked into this job for the rest of your life or do you keep your options open? Think about the comparison you're making. locked in like a prison, right? Locked in for the rest of your life. That's what they're hearing in their brain. Oh my God, that's true. I don't want to be locked in here for the rest of my life. Yeah, I keep my options open. Great. Okay. And then the next thing I would do is listen, I'm running a little late. I would look down at my wrist, right? And I always had a watch on because there was no cell phones, right? They taught us tap your watch and say, listen, I got to run to an appointment, but give me your contact information and I'll have my assistant send you some information. Who is my assistant? My wife. I had no money. I was just getting started, right? And do that 10 times a day. Whatever you do, or you want to do a combination of LinkedIn, right? Folks, let me tell you something. Just in America, there are over 3 million builders. I don't think you knew that, right? There's over 3 million. I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. Okay. Whoa, look at that. That's the Build Bank Vault. Let's throw some fire in the chat for the Build Bank Vault. Okay. I see that every day. Take a picture of it. You know why? Because every day, Chris, I say to myself, wow, this is unlimited cash flow that we could build here. Unlimited. You guys saw I posted something the other day. I don't know who it was. They hit Builder Fire. Oh, Jerry Snell. That's right. Jerry, we got an appointment coming up. Jerry Snell hit Builder 500. And then because I was in the investment business, I was like, you know what? $500 a month? It don't sound like much, right? I wonder how much money you have to have invested in the stock market at an average rate of return, just average rate of return to generate $500 a month. I wonder how much you got to have. Well, guess what? Now we got ChatGPT. And ChatGPT kicks it back to me and says, you need to have $85,000, ready for this, in the stock market in an average rate of return to generate $500 of interest every month. That's residual income, right? Interest income is residual income. And I'm like, that's crazy. That is crazy. So if you want to make $1,000 a month residual in the stock market, right? You need to double that, right? 70,000. Double again, 340,000 to make 2,000. You get what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's what we have here. You don't have to put up 85,000, generate 500. What do you need? Go get your 4, pay no more. Help those 4 get their 4. You're already at Builder 500. That's better than putting together 85,000, I believe. Okay. This is important right here. There's 3 big secrets to guarantee success. And I don't use the word guaranteed very often, but this one I can guarantee you. Okay. I can guarantee you, you could talk to me 6 months, a year from now. If you do this, guaranteed to be successful. Number 1, be 100% coachable to our system. Master. Not get okay at it. Not get pretty good. Master it. I want you to throw in the chat. Seriously, everybody here, throw in the chat. Well, hold on, not yet. What are you a master at? Throw it in the chat. Now keep it clean. Keep it clean. All right, keep it clean. Okay, what are you a master at? You're a master golfer, cooker, cooker. Yeah, cook. You could be a master at being a mom, whatever. What are you a master? What do people say? Man, you're really great at that. Sewing. Drive. I don't know. Throw it in the chat. What are you a master at? Okay? Put it in the chat. One thing I could guarantee you, it took weeks, months, years of repetition of that activity. True or not true? You were not born a master at any one thing. You weren't just a born master. People say, oh, you're a born salesman. Bull. You're a born leader. Bull. That is a lie. You're not born. It looks that way. It looks that way to people on the outside, but they don't know all the stuff that you did, all the sleepless nights, all the nights that you're crying, that you're like, man, when is it going to happen for me? When is it going to happen for me? Why is everybody else making all this money? What is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. You got to master some skills. 2 skills: how to recruit people, how to sell our products. Number 2, you take massive, consistent action, right? Look at those words. I chose them purposely. Massive and consistent action by leveraging the law of large numbers and, oh, that's my favorite, work like your life depends on it. Imagine if they had a video camera on your shoulder, okay, to record your life. every 24 hours, right? It's recorded. Like, what do they call those things? Not documentaries. What do they call that when they follow you around and people live in a house? I forget. You know, those bachelor things. You know, guys know what I'm talking about. They record like their whole life, right? Imagine if you had that 24 hours. Okay. Could you honestly prove to people that you're working like your life depends on it? For most of you, no, because it's evident in your numbers, right? And sooner or later, it doesn't really matter if in the beginning you get crappy results, because sooner or later, you're going to what? You're going to master it, okay? By taking consistent, massive action, you get good at everything pretty much. And this is something you can get good at. This is not something like it's the special people. I just proved to you guys, right? I told you my life before I got into business. It was so difficult for me, but I wanted to win so bad. And at the bottom, you got to master your mindset. That's why I'm fanatical about personal development. I'm fanatical about personal development. But one thing about personal development, you got to be careful, right? Some people, all they do is they read books, and then the the law of attraction, and if I keep thinking and I put on some incense and then the Mercedes is going to come into my home, listen, stop that. Okay, that's only part of it. That's the only thing I didn't like about that movie, The Secret, right? Yeah, you could. It's good to think about the things you want. You attract them, right? But you got to go do some shit. You can't just wait around. Okay, and never ever give up on your dreams. So obviously, right? That's the probably in the book Think and Grow Rich. That's one of the most important lessons is persistence, never giving up, ever, ever. If you're in Build right now, you just got to plant your flag, make a proclamation and say, you know what, that's it. I'm going to be Builder 8,000 or whatever money you need monthly. I'm going to do that by such and such a date. And if you don't do it, that's okay. Continue, continue, continue. Yeah, but what are people going to say? Who cares what they're going to say? I could give two, you know what other people say. That was the old Ed Ayala. I used to worry what other people said. I don't care now what people say. Who cares? Right? It's my life. I'm not worried about you. Okay. You know, if they're a good person, right? Oh, here's a biggie. Look, there's nothing, okay? All in caps. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You're falling victim to the law of small numbers. That's all. Okay? If Ignacio goes out and and I'm picking him because that's not him, but if he only talks to one person a day, which that's not the case, right? He's a player, so he produces big numbers. If he only talks to one person a day, and you talk to 10 people a day, you're going to beat him. You're going to get to where you want to go. Because why? You're working the law of large numbers. He's working the law of small numbers. So folks, don't take it personal. There's nothing wrong with you at all. Zero wrong with you. You just fall victim to the law of small numbers. Okay? Oh, here's another one. People ask, why is it that most people you recruit don't do much? Throw a one in the chat if you ever thought that in your brain. Why the heck I joined? I bought the water filtration. I did this. I did my certification. I did whatever, right? I'm talking to people. I show up to the events. I show up to the Zooms. Why is it most people don't do much? Here's why. Because since they're not getting paid a guaranteed salary, which they are programmed to get, it is left up to their own self-motivation, and most people are not self-motivated and disciplined. That's it. JC says it all the time. It's discipline. Most people are not disciplined. They're not self-motivated. So guess what? The only way that they're disciplined and motivated is when they get that guaranteed little paycheck every week, right? Why do they get paid every week? Because it's weak. The paycheck is weak compared to what we do right here, okay, at Build. So understand that now. Most people are programmed, right, from birth. Yes, from birth. From the day they come out of mommy's womb screaming, guess what they hear? Go to school, get good grades, go get a good job, and go work for somebody else, and you're going to be fine. You're going to get a pension. And we know those rules don't work. So that's what they're programmed. So if they don't get a salary, guess what? They right away, any little obstacle, they quit. However, here's the good news. I got good news for you. About 10% of the population are self-employed or business owners. And those are the people that you want to hire and work with because they're already self-motivated and disciplined. If you are, those of you that before you got to Build, throw in one in the chat. If before you got to Build, you were self-employed somehow, owned the business, whatever, right? You know what it takes, right? You're the one that got to push yourself away. Those are the ones I want, because the other 90%, they work for the 10%. And you don't recruit the 90%? Sure. Yeah, but if they don't like show up, they don't work, then I don't pay attention to them. I pay attention to those folks. The ones that come on board and they're already self-motivated. Because you know what? I used to try to do this too. And again, Bob Safford corrected me. He goes, Ed, stop trying to motivate people. I'm like, why, sir? Why should I stop trying to motivate people? He goes, because, ready for this? When you motivate somebody, it's like giving them a massage. It feels good while you're getting the massage. By tomorrow, you still got the freaking pain in your back or whatever, right? So that massage wears off. Motivation wears off, right? So they've got to be self-disciplined, self-motivated. That comes through years of hard work, belief, and dedication. And unless they're not willing to self-improve, right? That's up to them, right? I can't spend a lot of time with that person, okay? Now, we spend time with them in groups, okay? But not one-on-one. Oh, check that out. Yeah. That's a little old, but it's over 300 million, right? 2025 is over 300 million. Look at that. I just said if 1% of the people become builders, that's just the U.S. Hey, let's give a big hand that we're international. We're officially international on our team, okay? We're already recruiting people internationally. We got Ruben crushing it, right? We got all these great leaders crushing, already bringing leaders on board all over the world, okay? But just in the United States, you got 3 million people that want to win big. That's the 1%ers, okay? That's the 1%ers. And I made a mistake there. It's not builders, okay? You're talking about builder 8,000s, because the 1%ers are the ones that make over 6 figures, okay? The 1%ers. You're talking about high-level leaders, right? 10% is builders, so I really made a mistake there. You got about 30 million builders out there. You guys get what I'm saying, right? 10%, that's what's your opportunity just in the U.S. Oh, my God, let alone the rest of the world. There's no limit to the people you can recruit. Okay, again, you will get all your life, all you want in life. This is the big one. This one took me a couple years to figure out. Took me a while to figure this one out. You know why? Because I came from a world of scarcity, right? Where I lived in Harlem, in the housing projects, lived on welfare for a while, the government cheese, right? Standing in line, waiting for the cheese. Yep. So scarcity. So it was always about getting something from people. Everybody was out to get something from the other one, right? What can I scheme from this guy? What can I get from that person? I didn't understand the world of abundance until I got into personal development. So when your life is scarcity, you don't care about other people. You're worried about who? Yourself. This was a big lesson for me, a big lesson that I learned in order to succeed in network marketing or in business, right? Team building, whatever you want to call it. I have to focus on helping other people getting what they want, right? So what is my focus today? My focus today is working my butt off to help Don LaPlume, to help Andre, to help Don Smith, right? To help Ruben, okay? David Leggett, all our great leaders. My focus, Ignacio, helping them. Because if I do that, now, guess what? Oh, Ed, wait a minute. So I got to help everybody the same? No. No. Don't help everybody the same. You can write this down because it's not here, okay? You spend 80% of your time with your 20%ers. Spend 80% of your time with your 20%ers. So you look at your schedule, right? You only set up appointments, one-on-one time with your 20%ers. You spend 20% of your time with the 80%ers, and you should do it in a group format, in a group, right? How do I know who's a 20%er? By their actions. They're going to demonstrate it to you. They're going to let you know, okay? So when you find the 20%ers, oh, Ed, but Ed, I don't like that. I want to help everybody, Ed. I want to help the world. I want to help the world, Ed. I want to help everybody. Even if they're not motivated, I want to help them, Ed. Well, that's okay. Do it after you get rich. Go get rich first. Go get wealthy first. Then go help out and be charitable. Go help everybody. Go give your time to people who really don't deserve it, because, right, they're not. That's fine, because you know what? Time is money, folks. I'm big on that right now, right? Time is money, okay? Time is more important than money. You can always get the money back, but you can't get the time back, right? Can't get time back. Time is more important than money. So I purposely invest my time, all my meetings. Listen, any of my meetings, any of my one-on-ones, it's always with people, okay, that are the 20%ers. But I help them get what they want, okay? Definition of bill recruiting. Some of you think recruiting is a nasty word. Ugh, recruiting. Every company recruits. The military recruits. Okay? Sports teams recruit. The NFL recruits. Everybody recruits. Why don't you? You're building a championship team of Chris McHenry's, of Jabari's, of Sam Beans. Tell me if you want that championship team. Can I continue? Of JC's, of Mr. Pacheco. Would you want that championship team? Yes or no? Somebody recruited them. And you know what's cool? We got such a great system that even if like you're horrible, right? I don't want to say suck, but you're horrible, you're really not good. Who cares? Introduce them to one of the leaders and they'll do the three-way and close them. Let's say you're afraid, man, I got a big leader. Oh my God, introduce them to somebody, right? And they will help you. So the definition of recruiting, if you really understand it, it's blessing people with the #1 business opportunity in the world. Now, if you don't believe that, you shouldn't be here. Okay? No other company has what we got. High commissioned, high ticket products where you don't have to recruit if you don't want to. I love recruiting. You know why I love recruiting? Because I like to see other people's lives change. I like to see the Ed Ayalas like I was, right? When I was scared and I didn't know nothing and I was negative and I was skeptical, right? The old Ed Ayala, I like to see that person change. And when we bring them into our environment and they get, fed some new information and maybe they take the next step and they read the book or they go to the seminar, they go to the super side or whatever, right? All of a sudden they start to change. I love to see that. That fulfills my heart now, okay? I don't do this for the money no longer. I really don't. I don't do this now for the money any longer. So Ed, does that mean that the money that you get every Friday, you're going to give it back to the company? Heck, no, I keep that. I deserve it, right? But I do it because I really love to see people succeed. Okay, so blessing people with the #1 business opportunity in the world, help them become financially free. Okay, real quick here, because I got a couple minutes. ABCs of our business, always recruit, always be recruiting every time. Write this one down. It's not here. You're always one recruit away from an explosion. Imagine if you contact somebody and their name is Samuel Bean. Hello, Mr. Samuel Bean. How you doing? Yeah, sure. I'll send you over the video. You take a look at it. Okay, great. Let me follow up with you in about 15 minutes. Okay, great. Would your life change? Yes, you'd be overriding Sam Bean and his organization. You get what I'm saying? What do you think? There's only one Samuel Bean out there? There's millions. But if you stay home, right, feeling sorry for yourself, I suck, I'm no good, all that negative talk, right, you're never going to win. Always be recruiting, be at all training, close sales. Okay, let me finish up here. Look, folks, seriously. Who's still got a heartbeat? Throw one in the chat. Come on, throw one in the chat if you got a heartbeat. So you see what that says? If your heart is still beating, then there is still time to go after your dreams. Let me repeat that. If your heart is still beating, mine's is still beating, yours is still beating, there's still time to go after your dreams, not my dreams, after your dreams. Now, here's what happens if you don't. If you don't go after your dreams, let me tell you what's going to happen. It's going to happen. You told your friends, your wife, your family, right, your kids, they know that you're in business. And all of a sudden you quit again. You quit again. You quit again. You quit this one. You didn't succeed because you chose not to succeed. Because if other people here are succeeding, that means you could succeed, right? And at some point, folks, you're going to have your kids, your grandkids, at some point, whether you're 60, 70, 80 years of age, God bless you. I hope you live to 100 plus, right? But at some point, they're going to look you in the face. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, Mommy, Daddy, why didn't we win like so-and-so? How come we couldn't go to the nice schools, private schools like so? Why couldn't we go on the great vacations like so-and-so? Why? I heard you had a great business, unlimited income, in solar, in travel, in Zeta Internet, right? All the stuff that we got. You had a chance to become a multimillionaire. And wait a minute, Mommy, Daddy, Grandma, they were helping you. They were helping you become a millionaire and you quit. What are you going to say to your kids? What are you going to say to them? How can you look at them in the face and say that you quit? Don't let that happen, folks. Okay. I just took you into the future and I don't want you to ever see that movie. Okay. So as of today, let's 10x it. Okay. Let's focus on personal development and let's go get all this cash that Build has to offer. Okay. Thank you, Chris, for hosting this. I appreciate you guys. Love you. I got to jump on another call. Okay. God bless you all.